As we go on to the mini lecture, we will cover basically the same objectives. Again, a little more thoroughly in our textbook. This is just to get the flavor of it. So as we go on to example 1, we're asked to write the domain and range of each relation. So again, a strategy would be to organize domain and range. That'll be for letter A. Domain and range and then domain and range for C. Now they also want to determine if the relation is a function. Is the X element only used once? So here we see quite clearly, yes, this is a function. Here, one line coming from the X element, this is a function. Now here the A is used twice, so this is not a function. And we'll give you a moment to put in roster notation the elements. Remember, if they're repeated, you only write it once. That was pretty straightforward. And here, since 2 is not used, we don't list it. And here, since A is listed twice, we only list it once. And 3 is listed twice, but we only use it once. Okay, we're going to do the same things now for D, E, and F. And let's see if it's a function first. This is not a function. The ones are used twice. This is a function. 6, -2. Now this is tricky. This is in its fraction form. This is in its decimal form. So because the 1/2 is used twice, this is not a function. And you would put these in this same order. We'll save a little time. Now for number 2, determine whether each relation is also a function. If we looked at the graph, and if we did the vertical line test, this passes, so this is a function. Again, made a graph of what we have here. This is a function. And when y is squared, we get this sideward parabola. Does this pass the vertical line test? No. So this is not a function. And now they're asking you to use the vertical line test. Does this pass? Yes. So this is a function. Does this pass? No, it's intersecting in 2 places. So this is not a function. And how about, does this pass? Yes, this is a function. So now they're asking us to list the domain and range of each of these featured graphs. So let's set it up. So check it out. The only one I'm wondering about is this one over here, where we have a bracket for 4, because it looks like it's going through 4, but down below they have a parenthesis. Okay, we'll get on to this next one in just a moment. For example 5, what we want you to do is to set up a little T-chart, because we're going to give you a way to input this data into this equation. So we have x minus 2 as our output, but we have a value for x as a 3 and a -1. And for this one, we have a value for x as 0 and a negative 2, and this is negative 4x plus 1. Okay, for this one, we're going to substitute the 3 now for the x. 3 minus 2, this 3 for the x, 3 minus 2 is 1. And now our x is a negative 1. A negative 1 and a negative 2 is a negative 3. And again, the answers are on the other side of the page. Now, for this one, I left out the 3x squared. There we go. Now we have the whole thing. So if x is 0, this is a 0, this is a 0, this will be a 1. Now we did one like this. If x squared is a negative 2 squared, that's a positive 4. 4 times 3 is 12, minus 4 times a negative 2 will make this a positive 8 now. This is x is a negative 2. Negative 4 times negative 2, a positive 8, plus 1. So this is 21 here. And that wraps this up. And of course you'll be doing some as well.